Welcome to Seattle Public Utilities Ask Evelyn Live, where we answer your questions about recycling, compost, garbage, and other trashy topics. I'm your host, Becca Fong, and this week we are lighting it up with holiday decor and more, how to deck the halls in sustainable style. So people are dusting off the Christmas decorations, and we've got a really good question this week that came at us. I know a lot of you out there are starting to decorate. We're getting started over here just a little bit. So we're really excited to talk to you guys about this as you guys kind of are unpacking things and seeing, what you've got. Bring a little festive cheer into your houses this week. Hi, Pat.
Hey, Becca, how you doing this week?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Got your lights up, I see. I got my lights up as well.
I know, because we're lighting it up this week.
That's right.
Awesome. So, people are starting to decorate this week, and we've got some people have been decorating for a while. More power to y'all, because it is dark out there, and there's something about Christmas decorations that just kind of bring it up, So
Yeah, there's so many decoration options as well. You're absolutely right. Well, it's great to be here. Happy to be on Ask Evelyn again.
All right. And so we got a really good question specifically about kind of holiday decor. So let's jump into it.
All right. So the question comes to us from Jackson. Hi, Evelyn. What do I do with my broken Christmas lights and broken inflatable snowman? Any suggestions on how to replace these things with more sustainable options? Great question, Jackson. Becca, what's the quick answer?
Absolutely. Lights. Okay, so quick answer on the lights is that if your lights are broken, they should go in the garbage. They should never go in your recycling cart. They tangle in the sorting equipment and it's just a mess. There are some recycling options that we'll talk about in a second, but those are drop-off options. The inflatable snowman, so those are usually fabric with a little motor. Separate those two. The ripped fabric, if you can't fix it, you can take that to one of our thread cycle partners. A lot of our major thrift stores will take them. Goodwill, Value Village, St. Vincent de Paul, they will take those and recycle those threads. And then the motor piece, you can either discard, or if you're ordering one of those special item boxes, you can throw that in there too.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I mean, a special item pickup is really intended to be for small appliances and houseware items, things like that. So a little motor, a little piece of your, like if it was one of those projection things, or if it was one of those little motors that power up the inflatable snowman or whatever, that's like a little hair dryer in a way. It's not heated, but it's it's like that. So it's a good little mechanical piece that if it's no longer working and doesn't serve a purpose for you, then you can put it in with your special item pickup along with any other clock radios or other materials that might be ready for recycling.
Totally. And I think what we're reclaiming in that is any of the metals that are inside of it, not necessarily the plastic housing. And it's pretty similar with Christmas lights, right, Pat?
Yeah, Christmas lights are, they're great. We love them. We wish they would last longer. We all know they have a shelf life, right? They get a few seasons. They're outdoor a lot of times, so they take a little bit. But we've got some lights in our house that have been going for like 7 years. I'm really happy with them. They're LED, so that's great. But yeah, it's really common that the lights just won't work. You can't find the replacement bulbs and so forth. So to be able to recycle them is great, because they definitely don't go in the blue bin. We're very clear about that. They are not recyclable in our curbside program. But there are partner outfits out there, mostly hardware stores. They're listed on King County, hosts the website for this. It's the Recycle Light or something like that is their webpage, the holiday lights. So they'll strip all the plastic off the wiring, and then there's parts of it that are metal, like within the bulb. There are little metal pieces. The plug itself is metal. So they'll get all the metal that they can out of it. But there's so many different plastics and rubber and things that mostly after it's shredded and separated, the plastic material is probably not recycled, but all the metal is. And copper is a very valuable element. So we want to, get those back into those recycle systems when possible.
Definitely. And we'll put a link to the King County page that has the list of those places that you can drop off your lights with. So definitely don't put them in the blue cart, but there are some options for it. And especially if you're running out to the hardware store and you happen to have a string of extra lights, just toss those in your reusable shopping bag when you're heading out there, and you can drop them off when you go. So you don't need to make an extra trip.
Combine a trip, exactly.
Exactly. Absolutely. So thinking about more sustainable options for holiday decor, right? So we talked about lights can last a long time. If you choose LEDs, those are always nice because they use a little less electricity. So one other really good category is that you and I, all of you who are watching, Pat and I are big DIY folks, right? Like we like to reuse things. We like to create our own items. I've got this little felt Christmas tree that my kids and I made last year. We had some fabric scraps sitting around, a little glitter glue. I think this thing's going to be around for a long time. So there's, you know, Pat, you've also talked about, there's also a couple of other different kinds of options for sourcing decor.
Oh, sure. I mean, there's of course within your own house, within your own garage, within your own space, you can find craft items. You know, ways of like taking some old broken plates and breaking them up and making a mosaic. We have a coworker who gave us that idea.
Totally.
That's a terrific idea to kind of create your own ornaments out of your own waste stream, things you know that are not recyclable, for example. Yeah. But also from the natural environment, from the yard, from the parks, from outside, to bring in those cedar, yeah, there you go, some branches from some trees and some different pine cones and holly branches. I mean, look at isn't that what your daughter created for you? Is that,
absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, my daughter went out and we cut down this invasive holly because we want to get rid of it anyway. And then we had some cedar branches that came down in that latest storm, and we just put them in a vase of water. They're big, they're beautiful, they smell good. And then when we're done with them, we'll put them in the compost. So free.
I think part of the fun could be looking for those things that you know will bring the holiday cheer into your home. Looking for them out in the yard or out in the parks, or you know, the fallen branches. Don't be cutting branches off of trees in the parks, folks. But but the fallen branches are up for grabs. Yeah, those are great. And then also just search within your own home. I mean, you probably have your candles, and you know, some things are green already or red already, and so you know, having napkins can dress up the table a bit for when you're decorating for the holiday meals and such. So again, going back to the thrift store, that's another great spot to get some of these holiday items. If you search high and low and you don't have all the things you want to use to decorate your own house, then even though it's a gently used or well-loved item, thrift stores are great sources for a variety of holiday decorations. Yeah,
absolutely. And I mean, part of the joy of decorating your house is just, you know, Pat, you talk about it a lot. It's a journey, right? Like getting to zero waste. It's a journey. It's not a destination. And all those things, finding new things to repurpose, you know, making your own ornaments, even heading to the thrift store to find some new treasure. Like all of that is really part of not consuming new things and just finding new ways to repurpose stuff, which is, you know, what we're all into, especially during these dark times of the year. So anything that brings you a little joy and a little happiness to go on your zero waste journey, absolutely put that on your list. So,
and you know, these are items you could be looking for year round. I'll also say that because there are, you know, garage sales, estate sales, other thrift store days when, you know, it's not the holiday season, but you can get some holiday scores as well if you keep your eye out. So, you know, gathering slowly and thoughtfully is another way of you know, getting to where you want to be in your holiday season decor category.
Totally. I'm also a big fan of swapping decorations with people. Like maybe somebody's got some big wreath and they're like, I'm tired of putting this wreath up, but maybe you could take it for a couple of years. You can get some joy out of it, and then you can trade it with somebody else, which is also a really nice option. So yeah, so Jackson, really good question. I think to recap really quickly, if you've got lights that no longer work, don't put them in your recycle cart, but take them to one of the drop-off locations that we're going to link to, and they will reclaim that copper, or you can go ahead and throw them in the trash. That's perfectly okay as well. For more sustainable options, Pat and I are always about DIY and new to you. New to you is exchanging with friends, looking around stuff that you've got around, you know, natural decor like leaves, branches, pine cones that can be composted, and then also, of course, a thrift store treasure hunt. So a lot of really good choices out there, and, you know, really good stuff, and just a way to just brighten things up during these dark days of winter.
That was a great recap, Becca. Good job. You got us covered there on all the decor items.
Yes. Awesome. And again, we'll put a link to those drop-off locations in our show notes. So thank you again, and we hope that you guys find that super useful. One really quick reminder, you guys loved it last time, and we did too, when we did an AMA for you guys. So we are going to do another one in 2 weeks. So what you guys need to do is get your brains working and think about all the questions that you wanted to ask us, and you can ask us anything.
Yeah, AMA, ask me anything. I like it.
Yes, ask me anything. So we'll see you with, that's going to be on the 22nd. That's going to be right before Christmas. So cue those up. And with that, folks, go out there, decorate in sustainable style, bring that joy inside your house, and brighten things up on the inside.
Nice.
And with that, that's another episode of Ask Evelyn. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And remember, it runs on your questions, just like Jackson's great question this week. You can send them to us by Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or you can always send us an email at askevelyn@seattle.gov. And with that, we will see you guys next week. With that, I'm Becca Fong. And remember, life's simpler with less stuff.
And I'm Pat Kaufman. Remember to recycle right. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.